Islam is a paper-thin scam. It was perpetrated to satisfy Mohammad's insecurity.
Bukhari. The Prophet was holding Umar's hand. "O Allah's apostle, you are dearer to me than everything except my own self." The Prophet said, "No, by him in whose hand my soul is, you will not have faith till I am dearer to you than your own self." Then Umar said, "However, now by Allah you are dearer to me than my own self." The Prophet said, "Now, Umar, you are a believer."
Mohammed's insecurity was the very foundation of Islam. But so that it wouldn't be obvious to the unthinking, Mohammed confounded them with,
Quran 33, verse 7. "And remember, we took from the prophets their covenant, as from thee, from Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. We took from them a solemn covenant, that Allah may question the custodians of truth concerning the truth that they were charged with. And he has prepared for the unbelievers a grievous penalty."
The last line actually reads, "That may question thee of truth concerning the truth they." The second translation reads,
"That he may ask the loyal of their loyalty."
Even with the parenthetical explanations added by the translators, this is senseless. Covenants are reciprocal agreements. They can't be taken. And why lash out at unbelievers? What have they done? If I'm right, what's really happening here is that Mohammed has made a deal with the devil. Satan promised him power, sex, and money. But Satan wanted something in return: Islam, or submission, a doctrine founded on deceit, death, and damnation. He wanted to be worshipped as God, not loved, by the way, which is why Islamic worship is comprised entirely of obligatory duties and prostrations. And knowing that there was a real God, Satan wanted Yahweh's chosen people and their scriptures abused. Then he wanted Mohammed to attack the Messiah, revealing scripture that placed the Messiah beneath him. And from what I can tell, they both got exactly what they bargained for. But the demonic covenant, the religion of fools, by fools, and for fools, was too foolish to remember what had happened one battle to the next, so now we're told that the Badr victory was due to a hurricane.
Quran 33, verse 9. "O ye who believe, remember the grace of Allah on you, when there came down an army, but we sent against them a hurricane, and forces that ye saw not. But Allah sees all that you do. Behold, they came on from above and from below you, and eyes became dim, and hearts gaped up to the throats, stupefied with terror, and ye imagined various vain thoughts about Allah."
First, there was no army at Badr, only out-of-shape businessmen. But here the deceitful duo is protesting. "I know you couldn't see the angels, and a hurricane in Arabia is pushing it, but trust me on this, they were there all the same. Sure, it seems laughable, causing you to think various vain thoughts about Allah, but you just gotta believe us. Otherwise, how am I going to justify stealing your money, your mind, your soul, and your freedom?" In a related hadith from Bukhari, we hear,
Allah's messenger said, "Allah has some angels who look for those who think about Allah while they're out
fighting,
and they encircle them with their wings. Allah,
who knows all,
asks these angels, 'What do my slaves say?' The angels reply, 'Allahu Akbar.' Allah,
who allegedly sees all,
asks, 'Can they see me?' The angels answer, 'No, they can't see you.' Allah,
who supposedly knows all,
says, 'How would it have been if they had seen me? If they had seen you,'
one spirit said to another,
'they would have worshipped you more.' Allah,
who created the largest brothel,
asks, 'What do they desire?' They ask you for paradise. Have they seen it? No, but if they had, they would covet it all the more. What do they fear? Hell fire. Have they seen it? No, if they had seen it, they would flee it with extreme fear. Allah said, 'I will not reduce every companion to misery.'"
Satan knows that fear is more compelling than lust. That is why his brothel is described in 5 surahs, and hell's torments are threatened 1,000 times. Moving on with our romp through Mohammed's personal scriptures, we learn that even militants were aghast.
Quran 33, verse 11. In that situation the believers were sorely tried and shaken as by a tremendous shaking. And behold, the hypocrites and those in whose heart is a disease said, Allah and His Messenger promised us nothing but delusion.
Or,
Allah and His Messenger promised only to deceive us.
The bad Muslims, or hypocrites, are now diseased because they had the common sense and courage to say that Muhammad's mutterings were deceptive. In Islam, morality is a sickness, sanity is a disease. Returning to Uhud, the Prophet reveals,
Quran 33, verse 13. Behold, a party among them said, Men of Yathrib, you cannot stand the attack, therefore go back. And a band of them asked for leave of the Prophet, saying, Our houses are bare and exposed. Though they were not exposed, they intended nothing but to run away. If the enemy,
Meccan merchants,
had entered from all sides
of Yathrib,
and they had been exhorted to treachery, they would have committed it, and they would not have hesitated.
In Islam, peace is treachery. Everything is upside down. Next, our tattered hero uses the Pledge of Aqaban, an oath of war that preceded the Hijrah, to condemn peaceful Muslims.
Quran 33:14. And yet they had already covenanted with Allah not to turn their backs, and a covenant with Allah must be answered.
At the Pledge of Aqaban, allegiance was also sworn to Mohammed, not Allah. The first Muslims said it was an
oath to wage war against all mankind.
In a second translation,
and verily, they had already sworn to Allah that they would not turn their backs to a foe, and oath to Allah must be adhered to. Say, running away will not profit you if you are running away from death or slaughter, and even if you escape, no more than a brief respite will you be allowed.
This verse is so devastating to the peaceful myth of Islam, it deserves a third look.
Say, flight will not avail you if you flee from death, killing, or slaughter. In that case you will not be allowed to enjoy yourselves but a little while. Say, who will screen you, saving you from Allah if He intends to harm or injure you?
This sounds like Stalin's command at the Battle of Stalingrad. He ordered his comrades to eliminate any Russian who fled from death. There were as many guns pointed at their backs as there were in their faces. Mohammed and Allah are saying the same thing to their comrades. If you don't fight to the death for us, we will kill you ourselves. And throughout time, good Muslims have done just that. They have slaughtered millions more bad Muslims than they have good infidels. Pacifists really annoyed Islam's war god.
Quran 33:18. Verily, Allah already knows those among you who keep back, and those who say to their brethren, Come along to us, but come not to the fight in the stress of battle, except just for a little while, being covetous and niggardly with respect to you. When fear comes, you will see them looking to you, their eyes rolling like one swooning because of death. But when their fear is gone, they smite you with sharp tongues, covetous of goods, in their greed for wealth, for the spoil. Such men have no faith, and so Allah has made their deeds of none effect, and that is easy for Allah.
Bad Muslims pretend to go along with the program, but when the going gets tough, they don't fight, they faint. They only want the booty, so Allah will nullify their deeds, sending every peaceful Muslim to hell.